We're in the new
Yeah,
spot. We're in the new spot.
yeah, I'm up in the Springs right now, man.
Oh, he in the Springs holding it down for Auntie Ellen.
Yo, these mosquitoes bite you during the day. They're also unemployed due to the virus. Like, I didn't even know mosquitoes bite during the day.
Oh yeah,
Feeding the
man.
less fortunate. How was that?
It was, man, I didn't even realize how close to plain sight like homeless people were. And I asked my mom and she's like, "Yeah, we just drive till we see them." I started looking around and I'm like, "Yo, there's homeless people all over the place down here."
And it was just humbling because it was just like, apparently North Carolina's wilding now. And so cases are going up. So we're gearing up to open school, but it's kind of like, yeah, we might get that call and be like, hey, we're going to remote learning this year. So it's kind of like there's no need for deans. You know what I'm saying? I'm like one step away from being homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could have moved back home with my parents or whatever. How come I didn't get that? Like, man, it's in the bag that you gave you. It was like, ooh, let me get some of that. I was like, part of me is just like, dude, like, it's free. Don't ask for nothing. Like, technically, like,
I mean,
you know,
well, there's that. Even as, servants and whatnot, we can at least present the idea that we have standards for what we do, but also for like our opinion of our service. Just having boundaries and stuff like we don't need you here harassing people or causing any discomfort, any disturbance to the other people that we're
mm,
also serving.
it's bad to think that, like, with service, you should, like, take abuse. But it somewhat comes with the territory. Like, when people don't know how to manage being served, there's a certain level of abuse you should be aware that you are going to take. I don't know. I don't know how to better phrase that. Like,
Well, I mean,
you just,
so there's
you
some
know,
people that have the lack of either familiarity or the lack of understanding. This is a very valuable thing because for someone looking up at you, it can feel like, oh, this is all that you can do for me. You could answer and say, look, I'm really not that high above you. That generally isn't an answer that will garner much positivity, I think, from people.
I can be where you're at right now. They'd be like, so you understand why I'm talking to you the way I'm talking to you right now? I mean, she was really the only one that day, but everything else, it was just like a blessing. And she was like, yo, what an amazing experience in the midst of this pandemic to be able to still be the hands and feet of Christ. To see everything that's going on, the tension that is up, the righteous anger, I guess you could say, with everything going on, it felt good to take a break from all that and to be able to help somebody. And it's really an iron sharpened iron type of deal. Like, as I'm helping them, they're helping me and just thinking like if I'm able to be a father one day, like, this is what I'm gonna have to deal with. But also they kind of keep me on my toes, like encourage me to deepen my growth in Christ. Bro, do you know how I didn't know how expensive tofu was? Something like that bland costs that much. I was like, bro, I literally have to do all the work. Beyond Me is crazy. I
Mm.
was like, it's beyond me to buy that joint because that's oh okay. I bet he have a hoodie on or Florida open, so he shouldn't have one. Florida's open. Let me see the haircut, Joe. Only black folk will show up and still not prepared. Oh
Yo,
nah,
I ain't
he
gonna
just
lie
woke
to you.
up. I heard it. He just woke
I
up.
ain't,
Why do we disrespect Steve Francis so much? We never talk about this man.
Oh,
who
we
disrespects Steve franchise?
Yo, everybody, bro, we never talk about this man. Like, this man needs to put on shows.
what did he get? He gave him a 4-piece.
Right. You have to go back to the 83-84 season, of course, when the Rockets had 14 wins, right? Oh, Steve Francis.
Like, we need to have like an above average like Hall of Fame, like Michael Red.
Above average Hall of Fame.
I I've seen a sports writer do like the Hall of Very Good.
That's Skip Bayless. He said, Eli Manning. Eli Manning deserves to be in the Hall of Very Good.
I
I was
mean,
like, come on,
I
man.
agree.
We're not gonna start this, Ray.
We can
I
go
was
there.
just.
The claim to fame doesn't even work for him because
It does though.
it only works if you're talking about him because he doesn't get reverse consideration. since people only talk about championships, no one really says, Brady lost 3 championships. No, with LeBron, they do, but that's
LeBron,
because
3 of
LeBron
6.
is the bigger name in his championships. I can't put someone in the Hall of Fame that I don't fear on the playing field. Like Neff, let's be real. Will you play linebacker?
I'm chilling.
Neff, if you
I know
were
the ball.
play,
The
if
ball's
you
gonna
were
come to me sooner or
linebacker,
later from Eli, man.
a running back on a rival team in your district gets all district honors, no, all state honors, and let's say state championship game goes for like say 150 and 3 touchdowns or whatever, and they give him all state honors, but the whole season he was averaging like 50 yards a game.
He was mid, but when it came time to show up, and he balled out.
Oh, Lord.
You get all state for showing up one time, bro?
If during the playoffs he had a great run, give it to him.
But you give him all state though?
All state though?
All
For only the
state, you
playoffs?
All state.
you get all
made
state.
the champion.
You get all state for doing great in regular season, throughout the playoffs, into the championship. Like there's no you're not getting all state for performing for 3 games in the playoffs. I think no.
Like, listen, he gets all state because the team was in good
You're
hands.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
averaging 50 yards
in
per
the championship
game as an
too.
all-star
averaging
running back.
and all state.
You're averaging 50
that's
yards per
effective.
game.
Hey,
as an
without those 50
all-star.
yards, without those 50 yards, he
Boy,
wouldn't have
God.
made it.
Please
He wouldn't have
stop,
made it.
Neff. Please stop. Neff,
Boy.
if I hear
Hey,
that you're all-state running back, an all-state running back, I'm thinking you're averaging at least 200, 300 yards per game.
Well, no, if you
Easy.
average
Not
200 yards a game,
I think
you
it's
best
just
in the
one.
country. You all American.
Yeah, 300. Just you and the lineman. Because that means you're not throwing.
Do you
Like,
have
no.
receivers? Championships are too circumstantial. They cut their offensive output average by 60%.
We were right around our wheelhouse.
Okay, which means that it wasn't really about, in a way, it wasn't even really about what Eli did in that Super Bowl.
Eli Manning was playing jackpot.
Jackpot. Listen, he's not a first ballot, Ray, but he's gonna get in. Okay?
I don't know.
Even if it's on the notoriety of beating Tom Brady, he's getting in.
Boy,
You heard what I said. now.
Eli could be the next Mr. Clean. Scrub.
Heard that.
Yeah, I don't
Heard
like the
that.
disrespect of my man.
You
I
gonna
will.
take Eli over Matt Ryan?
I would take
I
Matt
will.
Ryan over Eli. That's and I
You'll
hate
take
Matt Ryan.
You'll
I'm
take
sorry.
Eli over Matt Ryan. You're
I
wild.
will. 2-time Super Bowl MVP. That's all I need to hear. Okay, this is the equivalent of 6 rings
said
for
Super
Jordan.
Bowl.
All right, this.
Heck no.
What?
Hey,
That's good cap. That's good cap. That's great. Matter of fact, that's great cap. That's phenomenal. That is amazing cap.
okay, but you're just going off based on cover. First of all, it is.
That's literally
It is-
Eli's whole
it is-
career.
Wait,
If Eli
is it
didn't have
harder
clutch
to
moments,
make?
he would not be in the Hall of Fame discussion, period.
Okay, then. But he had clutch moments. Let's
So
not
then don't
disregard
get mad
those.
at Robert Horry. Eddie, you looking
Huh.
kind of fresh, dog? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes. Hey, let's get this started because I know Eddie's on a time crunch.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
As he-
All right,
as
you
he-
know we
as he's-
gonna
as he's
we gonna
playing-
go with-
as he's playing games.
the first
Disrespectful
question
anyway.
is, how do you feel about how much you hear from your friends? So 32% said they hit me up. 68% said not enough. So
You
what's
need new
y'all
friends like I
experience
thought.
with? What's your experience?
Do you need new friends?
It's different for guys and girls. For like girls, like they want to constantly hear from like their girlfriend, sending them out, blah blah blah. For guys, like you can literally not talk to like your guy best friend or just your guy squad for like 3 weeks or even a month straight. But when you guys link up, it's like nothing. Like you never missed out on nothing.
I mean, I feel that because over high school, you always with that. You always with your squad. You always around people that you mess with.
Nah, I don't know if y'all young kids remember, if y'all young kids were on
Young
MySpace
kids,
like that.
oh my
But
God.
MySpace used to have that thing like my top 5. You hear the old adage, people make time for what's important to them.
Mhm.
That's situational.
Bro, I hate
Because
hearing that. I'm sorry.
because
I hate
like
hearing that.
because the same people telling you like, yo, like if people make time for what's important to them, like, dog, like if I got stuff going on in my life, like you can take a pause and not feel hurt about it.
Well, no, I
You get
think
what
that
I'm
still
saying?
falls in line with that saying though. Like if
Does
it's
it though? Like,
no, yeah, because the idea
but I
is
said like people can take a pause without being hurt. Like you don't have to be hurt because I don't hit you up because you're right. I am making time for the things that are important to me or not, and you don't rank in that right now. But it doesn't mean I don't value you or your friendship or relationship, whatever, what have you. But as for what I can juggle in front of me, if it's 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 1 thing, I gotta focus on that 1 thing, and you should be all right without being hurt about it. You
How can all things matter when this one's hurting? You feel me? Come on now.
hashtag all things matter.
All right, bet. Tweet it. Even if I'm in Tampa for a day, I'm gonna go to my brother's house and I'm gonna go to his house if he's available.
Man, you ain't want to pull up down here with me? I heard you. See
Bro,
how
I
it
hate driving on your
Hate
side
it.
of the state. I've said it multiple times. I hate driving on the east side of Florida. If you don't hit me up, I don't sit there thinking like, wow, that's why I keep my circle small. I gotta mess with my day ones.
That's
My
Twitter's
day one, even
favorite.
with my day ones, I don't talk to you like that. You get
That
what
was
I'm
one of
saying? So I
Twitter's
feel like
favorite tweets. Josiah, like naturally has, like Josiah's naturally, I think, a small circle person. Like,
Oh, that's big flex.
I think that's the normal thing. There's always a core group of friends or group of people that you hang out with or you talk to more frequently, and then there's like an outer circle, like yeah, they're your friends, but they're sort of like / acquaintances. Where people get it misconstrued is where they try to make their inner circle and outer circle everyone they best friend, like trying to talk to
oh
them every
yeah,
quick question. What's the difference between a friend and an acquaintance?
I
How does
think it's
someone
a.
qualify to be in your core group? Let's put it that way. How does
I,
somebody get to be in your core group?
so I think the difference between acquaintance, friend, and close friend is like expectation and accountability.
My question was, how does somebody make it into your core?
Any person that makes it into the core is going to be like a life shifting person. For me, it's mostly relational. I guess the most recent person to make it into like my innermost circle would be a girl, Karen from Andrew. She like forcefully introduced herself to me, which was like
Forcefully.
no, yeah, like no, literally. So I had met
I had to come on
Ariana.
screen for that one.
I walked over and then I said hi, introduced myself to a couple of people, and then I got to her and I kind of stopped and she was like, "Oh, my name's Karen." And then she like put her hand out and took my hand and practically shook it. So it was like a comical way to like start a friendship connection. And then from that point on, like we just talked more and more. And then like over time we just like opened up to each other, and by the end of the year she was someone that I was having breakfast with once a week, and like we meet up, we talk, we like mutually exchange like concerns and feelings and anxieties and things like that. And by the end of the year she was like legitimately a close friend. And she was like a very just a very helpful person for me.
I think for me, it's more like it's more of the same. One of my big things is like quality time. Like it's not necessarily what we're doing, but how impactful that time is technically, and what can be said, what can be learned in that short amount of time. Like I don't know why. Like that is something that my parents ingrained in me. Like bro, like be self-aware of yourself. Like you could bother people. Stop being in
That's
people's face
something
all the
that
time.
you have to do on a person by person basis. This is like back in high school, but she was talking about this guy, and she's like, I text him a lot, but he doesn't really respond the same way. And I was like, if you don't really line up in the rate of communication, chances are you guys probably won't be able to communicate well in general in a relationship. Especially if you make it clear, I want to hear from you, and they aren't willing to change how they talk, or they won't step up to your standards, then that probably just isn't someone for you. And I feel like with close friends it's kind of the same way, where you guys will have that understanding. Like, either we will talk a lot or we won't talk a lot. But it will be good no matter what.
You said she said it saved half of the stimulus check.
If she didn't, did she really love you?
Okay. Anyway, continue. Next question, please.
So the next question is.
Next question, please. Next question, please. Yeah.
Next question: how many times do you say "I'm sorry" daily?
Oh, okay. I don't really keep a count, right? But I mean,
What does it feel
it's
like?
crazy. I feel like in a sense for me, like I've stopped in a sense. I've stopped in doing so as much as I used to, because it's like I would used to say like sorry in the sense knowing that I'm not in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch myself saying sorry, like, or
Just
apologizing
because.
for something I ain't really, for like, really and truly. If you look at it in the situation, I'm not wrong. I mean, you're like, at this point you're like really overreacting, but then at the same time you tell that to somebody else, you know, they just gonna take that to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, it's not even genuine at this point. Like, it's just like, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna just stop doing that because I don't feel good. I don't feel good saying I'm sorry, and I'm just like, but am I though? Like, it's not really meaningful. I'm just here like, I'm sorry.
Word.
I understand. I'm sorry, and I guess it's because I want things to move along, and I don't want it to like be stuck at that one thing.
Daily.
Oh, you have a girlfriend. You definitely have to say it like 40 times over. Okay,
bruh.
I could go probably a few days without saying it. Here's my thing. While I understand what Joe said, I always purposely never did that to myself. Only because I've heard from other people like that's something they have to unlearn. They're always apologizing, even if they're not wrong, but just because they want things to move along or they want things to just be smoothly, like they'll take the blame. I've never been that type of guy. Coming from a Haitian household, that's not even something that I heard.
Never.
I heard often. My dad started apologizing to us like we were in middle school. My dad would apologize when he felt or when he saw he was actually wrong. Me, I'm a little bit better. I'll say sorry to you if I do something that's wrong, and it's just like you'll know. But I'm almost the same way. If I feel that I'm wrong, if I see that I'm wrong, I'll say I'm sorry. There's a pride in me that is going to like kick my behind if I take a blame, if I say I'm sorry for something that is not my fault. Like those words, if I can't mean it and I say it, it's gonna eat me alive. And you might feel better, but now I feel like trash, and I want to kind of like take it out. Now I just want to rage at you for making me say something that I didn't mean. But it's not your responsibility; it's my responsibility. But I mean, I still feel like that. I'm learning.
At times where if it's a situation where like I know I'm stuck in my ways in a sense, I'm just like, all right, bet, you know what? I'm gonna go away. You know what I'm saying? Take time, think about it.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to understand your perspective of things, right? And if that's the case, you know what I'm saying, I can see where you will feel hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they won't say sorry though. That's one thing they won't say.
No, they won't say sorry. Be like, hey, your food on the table. And that's the apology. That's the apology. Because that food in the place of the apology, it always slaps.
Bruh.
Sometimes it doesn't equate to it. Sometimes.
That just lets you know what kind of apology you got.
Dang.
You know, I'm still hurt. Like you was wrong and I was right. Like, can I get a sorry still? Like,
so you want extra helpings? That's what she said.
Yeah, right?
You want more food?
You want more?
Generally, girls responded towards the extreme end of I say it a lot more than I either know or more than I can count. Guys generally answered I don't really say it. So I feel like there's definitely a socialized divide in I'm sorry, where it simply put, women have to apologize a lot more than men.
no, this is why.
It's not necessarily. It's not necessarily have to, right?
Well,
right.
no, that's I said socialized. So it's
Yeah.
socialized. So I'm not
Instead of
saying
using
it's a
actual-
natural force, but I'm saying women are socialized to be more apologetic than men are, which is
But
how
this is
you
the
end
reason
up
why.
with how this is reported.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Sometimes they're just saying it just so like the situation could be okay. I'm sorry, boom, and it's done. You can move on, opposed to like actually talking about what made you two argue or what's bothering each individual and be like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, and then I'm sorry. But they're just saying sorry from the jump because they just want everything go back to normal. I want to go back to cuddling. I want to go back to being nice to me. I want to go back to saying I love you and stuff. So let me say sorry so that we can just
Well,
go back to regular. But
that's relationships. But think about regular everyday stuff. You're walking down a hallway and you bump into someone.
it's in the
If you're
same
walking
way.
down a hallway, you bump into someone, and well, if us as guys bump into a girl, who's more likely to say
My
sorry?
fault.
My
My
bad.
fault.
For
Yeah,
us, we are, but generally, men probably might not, and women
I've seen some
probably
guys
will.
change up though. They bump into somebody, then they get a quick glance and be like, "Oh, yo, I'm sorry, my bad."
Oh well, yeah.
I ain't mean to do it.
You're a woman. You don't want to cause any problems. You don't want to doing this, so that's how they end up being socialized. And I think that's how you end up with them saying, "Just I'm sorry." Like even when there's something that you don't have to be sorry for. General idea. I think women get socialized to think about their impact on others more than guys do.
it's not a problem though, because like it's like one thing for me personally. I told my girl this from the jump. I don't like when you keep saying I'm sorry for stuff, because for me it lessens it, it cheapens it. Like I don't feel like I'm sorry like amounts to much of anything anymore. If you keep saying, "Well, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that," especially if it doesn't warrant an apology. That's just how I am.
Or there's
Like
no
I feel like because well the action behind it, okay.
But
There
you
are
can
some
sorry if
things.
you keep doing the same thing. But if I see you making an effort after you said sorry and you trying to correct the wrong that you're doing or something I don't like, then I'm like, okay, she actually meant, or he or whoever, my parent, they meant that sorry. But if you just keep, like you're saying, if you just keep saying sorry, like it loses its value because you're not like doing nothing behind it as well.
I mean, effort is relative, but I understand what you're talking about though. Like I would say personally, uh, with what I go through and how my mindset works, there's certain things just as like I would assume like from the jump, not to do this, So when you do it, even if you say I'm sorry, I'm trying, it still somewhat bugs me. Like like this is a thing. I'm not supposed to think that way. Like I'm trying to get out of that because one of the things I noticed with my kids, right? Like my guys at the dorm, if they do something, as much as I don't want you to do it, I can tell myself, or I have to tell myself, it might take you a while for you to snap out of that. But I'm a little bit less patient with older people, with people that I'm close to. Like, like you should just know how I am. Like you should know EE. And that's not a good vibe to have. That's not a good mindset to have. But to a certain point, it's kind of like, I'm sorry to keep hearing over and over again. Like to me, it just
It gets annoying.
becomes like
I
so
mean, yeah.
status quo. It
becomes dead to
honestly,
me. It becomes
But
dead.
I
yeah,
mean,
it just becomes dead after a while.
but that's the socialization. Because think about, I mean, if you think about though, that's never a problem you're gonna have with a guy. You're not gonna have a problem with one of your guys' friends saying I'm sorry. Even the nicest person you can think of, you're never gonna think of them being, oh, they say I'm sorry way too much. But with girls, it's a thing.
I don't know
guys,
why I'm weird.
bad.
I'd rather hear my fault instead of I'm sorry.
Yeah, when
At
you
this
say
point in time.
my fault.
Yeah.
I think
rather
that's
hear
in
that.
New York. I think that's in New York.
No.
I don't think.
I don't think so. They have less problems in between when they're saying I'm sorry, my fault, or my bad. So when it does come to that point when you be like, okay, I was wrong, be like, yo, my bad, bro, or my fault, bro, because they're not continually all the time, every day, 365 saying I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
For me, I'm trying to get as much sorry as I can out of my mom for all the sorries I didn't get as a child.
Bro, I'm weak.
No,
I'm
but
weak.
that's a real thing.
I'm trying to
It
get
sounds like
some
that's a real thing.
reparation sorries.
No, bro, honestly, that's the other side of the coin. As much as we say like women are more prone to saying I'm sorry, at least there won't be that like, dang, I remember where you did me dirty by X, Y, and Z, and you never apologize for it. Because I feel like that's the danger we as men fall into, because we don't say sorry often. We don't say my fault, my bad often. When we're supposed to, we can shrug it off. We do our own version of like, instead of saying I'm sorry, be like, hey, you want to eat?
Bruh.
At one point, it means a lot more when we finally do. But this thing is like, dang, like how many opportunities did we miss?
Right. Or having a lot of being surrounded by a lot of women in terms of growing up.
You say sorry
know
all
what
the
I'm
time?
saying?
You wanna give your perspective? Yes,
Hey man, come hey, pull through, man.
Oh, we
Pull
got
through.
a guest.
They're calling you,
We
Justin.
got a guest
Pull
coming
through, man.
in.
Pull through.
Yeah.
Oh, he's shirtless for the man. This is a PG show.
Yeah, that's Eddie. That's
Oh
Joe.
my
That's Ray.
goodness. Are you going to the
Oh, man.
NFL, my guy?
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
Oh, that beard coming into. Oh God, you see the beard, bro?
Chopping down trees behind
Well,
Andrew.
I know he be chopping them barren trees down.
So you say I'm sorry a lot. That's the report that we hear.
I have no shame in it. If I know I'm wrong, I'll say sorry.
Like I said, argument, no matter who it is, a girl or a guy, whatever. You know, you did something that it affected them, but you know, in like it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. It's like, are you in the same like apologetic state?
If it's very blunt, then I would apologize for it being blunt. But I would say that the point that I was trying to make is this, and I would probably say like in a different way. So I wouldn't necessarily apologize for the point I'm making. I probably would apologize for maybe like the way how I said it. If it was like too like mean or rude, or if they felt like very like offended by it, then I'll be like, well, sorry that it sounded, because I'm not apologizing for the point I'm gonna make, because this is what I see. So that's how I would look at it.
I respect that, you know, being true to your stance, but being flexible with your like delivery, I guess.
Right.
Willing to say I could have said that.
Flexible with delivery. Yeah, exactly. Like I can be like that.
Oh, we appreciate that. This man Josiah. Oh my gosh. This man shooting a free throw.
We clutch out here, man. Clutch out here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Next question. Is America the greatest country in the world? 69% said no.
Currently, I would probably say no.
Do you have any choices for
However,
that number one?
Am I gonna? The real question is, would you leave America to go into any other country? Even what's going on right now.
You know what? You hit the nail right there, my brother.
I think that is literally the question that holds so many people here. And I don't know if it's advertising or what, but it's like, okay, America's bad, but where do you go?
Canada, Spain, or Europe. I'm telling you now, the quality of living is, because I've been there, I personally witnessed it, 5 times better than living in the States. Although, yes, in the States, in some instances, you have more opportunities in terms of like, you can technically create a job field out of anything if you got your hustle on. But in all these other places, in terms of like healthcare or universal healthcare, or schooling is not like as taxing in terms of like taking out so much loans, or even having loans in general. Like you can just attend school. And then when I was in Spain, they have a thing called a siesta, like a two-hour break.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so good.
Need that, boy.
Everyone, like everything.
I would be smoked.
3 hours, and then you could come back to work. And I'm like,
I need that.
Cool. So that's what I'm saying.
America could never.
It's way better.
That's true.
It's way better.
I don't see myself leaving to go anywhere. Mainly because unlike my brother here, Eddie, I have not had the opportunity of traveling. Do I feel like there's other countries in better states? Yeah, there definitely is. There definitely is, and that's also a testament to like the leadership that they have, as well, compared to what we have. It's it's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying?
It's not good.
It's pretty bad, and you know what I'm saying.
I'm with y'all on that, man. America. I don't have a name of a country right now, I think it's better. Like
Would you go back to Ukraine
I mean, in terms of
to
cost
stay?
of living, yeah, long-term stability is a little bit more challenging, I think, than even
Okay.
America. Just because you don't have too many jobs that are really up there. Pretty much any job will still have you working quite a bit to keep your head above the water.
Okay.
You're saying in the
But
States like that?
Nah,
no, in
Ukraine.
So you're saying
Ukraine.
that's more, you're
So
saying?
like a doctor job in America is pretty much going to guarantee you to be straight. Like as a doctor,
That's
how you're
true.
getting paid, you're pretty much good. In Ukraine, if you're a doctor, you probably will still be good. But you don't have the same leverage, I think, financially that you do here in America. Like it just doesn't put you as high up.
Mhm.
But then doesn't it balance with the quality of life though, with the healthcare?
I mean, to an extent. I mean, it depends on what your key factors are. I mean, Ukraine, you have a lot of families that like it's a good family culture. You have like food and relaxation. You also have like a lot of cigarette smoking, which I personally don't care for. um, so there's, it's just whatever your personal factors are. But I mean, yeah, America, I don't think is the greatest. I don't know who is. But yeah, I'm with Eddie. I think either Canada or Europe probably has that
Oh
time.
man,
Low-key, Australia is
man.
a pretty good country to go to as well.
I'm cool with all
Australia,
them bugs, man. I'm cool with all them bugs, bro.
No,
Australia,
Cool with that.
not in the outback.
Australian
I would never go to the
wildlife
outback.
is
I'm cool with
dangerous.
that, brother.
Australia got snakes, so I ain't going.
Cool on that, brother.
Well,
Cool on that, brother.
he said not snakes.
Bro, them animals over
That's
there
it.
are
Nope.
Snakes
wild,
is the
bro.
snakes.
Bro,
That's the deal
Cool.
breaker.
Yeah, bro. I don't want to be walking, just enjoying myself. I get bit. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Or you could throw
No, that's
hands
true
with a
though. I
kangaroo.
would never go to the. Oh, those kangaroos are boxers over there.
Is Neff still there? Or
Neff
you don't
is
see?
typing something.
Oh, he working.
Yeah, he said he's
Oh,
doing
word.
something.
All right, all
Got
right.
paper due in 5 minutes.
Is that all y'all
Question.
wanted from the guest star? I gave y'all the cameo. You understand? Like I
Okay.
want this to be enjoyable. I mean, that's more than I could say. The rest of these guys, at least I'm trying to make the show,
Oh
give it some
wow.
razzle dazzle.
Shots.
Excuse
Razzle
me?
dazzle.
Hey, Josiah, you got
Excuse
lights
me?
up.
Yo, Joe, Justin said that he's seen you putting in work at the gym, and he said that you're very lucky. Well, not really. Florida be getting like 10,000 cases a day. Joe out here
We
playing.
stay safe.
Joe out here
We
playing
stay
gym
safe.
roulette. Oh, okay, bye.
Next question. Do you believe the government will protect us? Yeah, 79% said
At
no.
this point in time, man, only God can protect us, man. Let's just leave.
This
That's that, bro. That ends it all.
I I
That ends it all, man.
I second that motion.
And Ye about to run for president, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, it's
I know the feds listening, but a lot of people, ignorant people, gonna vote for Kanye West, and then we screwed, bro. No
You
cap.
get it easy. You get it easy. You get it easy. You get it easy.
Sunday
free
law coming
Yeezys.
faster, but that one, bro, he gonna make
Yeah,
everybody go to his Sunday
Get some
service.
Yeezys. That's what he gonna say.
I'm weak.
Everybody gonna go for the Sunday service, man.
That's gonna be
Mind
National Sunday
you,
Law.
I have no problem with this choir, but his choir is some heat. I ain't gonna hold you, but that he gonna bring out the National Sunday Law. Is what we wrapping up. It doesn't help the fact that he knows Jesus now, because I mean, to be honest, does the president really have that much power? No, not really. But I'm just talking. We speaking. Next question, please.
The next question. Do you think there's a problem with avoiding problems?
Yes or no?
88% said yes.
No, because I feel like the problem is always going to be there. But it's like if it's not time sensitive, wait until you're mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, handle that problem. And you have to give your time, like, yo, one problem at a time. You feel me? Like, you don't be trying to juggle all these problems all at once. Like,
The reason why I say yes, I say I agree enough because there's some problems, some problems you got to put on layaway till you deal with another problem. You know what I'm saying? But there's also some problems that are time sensitive and you need to have that dealt with right away. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say yes. That's why I said yes or no.
Problem avoidance is a habit forming behavior. Maybe if it's one specific situation, I can't deal with this right now because I have other priorities. Okay, fine. If you have a repetitive habit of, oh, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to deal with this, you end up in a place where you either never develop the skills to deal with problems or you just repeatedly choose not to because frankly it's usually an easier choice. Most problem avoidance is by choice. It's not often that people are just like, I have all these problems but like I can't really do anything. Problem avoidance just builds bad tendencies in people, and it can become counterproductive to self-improvement and self-development.
Because the more you prolong avoiding it, you're gonna have to face it sometime down the line. So if you're continually avoiding something and it gets to the threshold where you or the other party cannot take it no more, sometimes it can be already far along too gone.
Yeah.
So you might as well, try to assess the situation while it's happening or when it started so you can understand it and know how to better overcome it, opposed to you keep letting it drag on. You're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, you're 50 years old, you're 60 years old, and then you're wondering why you have all these problems in your life. It's because you've been avoiding everything that would help you grow.
The next question, do you have hope for the future? 95% yes.
Because I have the Lord and Savior on my side. And when you got him on your side, you Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because one of my homework assignments is really on that right now, talking about eschatology. So it's like the studying of the last days.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, or the last events, and it's talking about how us as millennials and further, like we don't like to actually focus on the future. Like it says that technology has served up for us. So like the future, we look for a technological type of future, but it's not necessarily one of afterlife. If I had to keep it a buck with you, what Eddie said is right, and it should be encouraging. Let's keep it a buck.
Can I just break down mine first to why I said that? I know it's like the cliche thing to say that, like,
no, it wasn't because of cliche, but go ahead, break it down.
It's because, okay, I wouldn't say I never had anything. I know people had it worse than me, right? Mm-hmm. But my situations have been different than the quote unquote average person that society says, like, mom and dad always there, the money's good, everything's good, you didn't really have to struggle. No, I've been struggling. Yeah. So in time of struggle, when I literally have no one else to count on except for God, because my whole family took him seriously and we're trying to, abide by his commands and rules, I see the difference from 5-6 years ago to now. If I had nothing before and I wasn't going nowhere, and I have more things now, but less things that I even had before, and the reason why I'm working now because I involved God, I know my future is set, because once you set your eyes on Jesus, everything goes accordingly. Because when you're walking in your purpose, nothing seems like a hassle. It's when you're trying to do things on your own will. I want this, I want that, I want to get this. That's where problems occur. When you do what God wants you to do, you feel so fulfilled that you don't even need anything else. So I said,
preach it.
You got the ultimate Thanos ring, bro. You got God that created everything in the universe. If it's good for you, he'll give it to you, and your life is good. If it's not, if it didn't come to you, that means God, one, it's not good for you, or it's not the right time. Okay, what else you got to do? Do what you're supposed to do. Serve, help others. You're gonna be fulfilled. Your life's gonna be good. So your future is set. So
Lord have mercy,
boy.
You sure Pastoral was not in your calling, my brother?
We got two Haitian pastors now. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Well, that's crazy.
But okay, but now I want to expand on like what the question is. Like, what do you mean future? Like, do you have hope for the future, like my personal future, or are we looking at it in the SPA realm? And Eddie might make it escape to the mountains, and they'll never find him. Like, it's supposed to be encouraging that we know that this is gonna happen, but it's just like, yo, what do you mean they're gonna beat me? Like, what do you mean they're gonna burn me in the firing squad? What do they mean they're gonna throw me in jail? Like what, you got a family during that time? And it's just like, yo, like, what if I'll take the mark for us so we can survive? But then he's like, damn, I want to see what heaven looked like too. Like, you know, like. But if we're talking about like prophetic future, like with Daniel Revelation, it's just like, yo, like, ooh, Lord, send me to sleep. Maybe God feels like I could take it. But for me sitting right here, I'd have to
You're
say I
like,
don't know. And some
nah,
people be
bro.
like, the fact that you don't know means that you're not ready. Like, there's probably people like, yeah, I'm ready to die for the Lord today. And then they hear that gun
Oh
pop back,
no,
like,
no,
whoa,
that's
we're not that
human.
close.
Human
You know, like,
overestimation. Humans overestimate themselves routinely. I feel like there's levels to this. So the foremost level is like, oh, I don't have, or I do have hope for a future, like Eddie. So like I have hope for a future because I have God. Then the next layer is, oh, I don't have hope for a future because I have God, but I know things are gonna be bad. I feel like there's a third layer on top of that though, which is, I guess, also cliche, but kind of at the top of it, which is we know the bad things are going to happen, but we also know the end of it. So
true.
the hope is in the stuff at the very end, which is positive, but it's taking into account the stuff that, bad things have to happen. But I mean, what my hope is in. My hope is in, the, I guess, completion of this whole timeline. And I hope that, all of our sacrifices are worth it in moving towards that. But I mean, yeah, there's layers to it. And I feel like people till the end will just be on different sides. A secondary question just to think about is like, how do we live with the knowledge? Because something that
Put it for next
Adventists
time.
could do and something that some Adventists actually do is say, oh, well, this place is going to burn anyway. What's the point of helping with that? This
True.
place is all going down anyway. I think there's hope. And I think we do have a right way to live and a way to live that does bless the people around us.
And also, there's also that verse that says, he's not going to give us more than we can handle, right? But then at the same time, do we really know how much we can handle? Like, do we really know what our limit is in a sense? Because I personally don't. It's like in my head, I'm like, yo, God, before you pull up, man, if you want to just like, before all this stuff happens, like, make me rest in peace before that, that'll be fine.
Bro, low key. When you're more equipped and you know what's gonna happen, it gives you less anxiety, or you wouldn't be as scared because you know what's gonna happen.
We know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen to me specifically
because you know you're gonna be persecuted. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is God's gonna win. So you already know the outcome already. So you know there's gonna be some turmoil before it could be everything's all good. But knowing that there's persecution, you also know that God is gonna win in the end. So as long as you're on God's side, you win. You're good.
And I get that. But okay, so basically it's like, let's say it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on this part and there's a desert in front of me. And I know there's bountiful blessings of food, water, all that stuff at the end of the desert, right? I'd rather be carried, you know what I'm saying? Yes, at the end of time, at the end we know if I'm right with God, I know for sure I'm going to heaven. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not trying to be laid up in I don't want to be laid up in jail.
It's like going through a workout and you are going to get to the end of the workout, but in the middle of this workout, you're just dying. And then they're like, all right, last set. And you're like, last set? What do you mean last set? Like, I don't have it. And it's that kind of moment where, those are make or break moments for people in real life. Some people in life, they quit at those moments. They just say, no, I can't do it anymore. And there's other people that are fighters that just say, all right, I don't know if I could do this, but we're going to push through. But I think everyone's going to get to a point where it's like, man, we have to go further. And it's a make or break point for people, man. Because sometimes humans will just choose their feelings. But then in other situations, humans have nothing but feelings and they will still choose some knowledge. So it's like, it kind of goes both ways, and I think it's just a question that everyone will answer individually in the end.
Nah, I definitely agree with Joe. It would be like, yo, like I know there's a better life at the end of that desert, but knowing that may not be enough as I'm taking my steps and I look back at like, yo, like, yeah, that town was crappy, but at least it had water and I'm mad thirsty right now. And it's just like, yeah, like it's weird. And you know what? Technically, Joe, we're not even supposed to be focusing on that. To like
Right.
Eddie's point.
You're right.
Like to like Eddie's point, we're not supposed to be focusing on what sort of persecution awaits us. But to like Eddie's point, like we know who's gonna win. We know why. Well, we should know why the persecution is worth it to us because we know how it's gonna end out in the last days. But to your point, I understand it's that human frailty side. Because somebody brought up a point one time. When they threw Daniel in the lion's den, the reason why Daniel prayed, like he said, Daniel's like, I prayed to my God and he sustained me. The reason why Daniel prayed is because that human side of fear is real. Like, to be thrown into a lion's pit, the human side is like, yo,
What?
I'm finna get murked.
Oh.
Yo, make that.
These lions.
Like, but it's like, but you know, Eddie's right. That's really the right perspective. Is the fact that like, yo, you have to solidify yourself now. God gives us the tools in which where you're gonna be able to withstand whatever, if that is your choice. And that's another thing too. Like God is like, the future is already determined. Your role in it, you determine that. I wake up every day, and the first thing I think about is like, yo, like today might be the day I die. Not on some sad stuff.
No, just
but,
like it's
yeah,
it's
like,
reality.
Just aware of the reality, but actually sit and run through at least 2 scenarios about how I might die today. Like, first one is usually car accident, especially if I know I have to go out. And the second one is usually something like wild, like slip on an ice cube or some joint, crack my neck, whatever.
What?
I don't know why.
What kind of 1,000 ways to die?
What if through persecution, like
That's
when I actually hit my full stride of like on fire for God. You did? Like,
yeah.
And that's how I look at it. I was like, yo, like today might not be my day, only because persecution is gonna be my way out. Who knows? You know.
If you really think about it, most of us are sort of lukewarm.
That's facts.
Yeah, that's facts.
Me and God gotta talk. Let's leave that. Let's say that. Like
when it comes down to it now, and of course it's not by your works that you get saved, it's by grace. But when it comes down to it, God, like, are you gonna fight for my cause? Because you're supposed to take up your cross daily. So this is like the final cross. Like, are you gonna pick it up this day too, or what? So you get to, you choosing. When you go to that tough spot, you're gonna hit the best thing that you can ever experience in your whole life. So
with that, we can move on to the final question, which is, oh Lord,
it's funny.
Would you rather drive over a cat or a dog?
This is what I was talking about, guys.
The cat can
this
go.
Is the cancelable stuff that I
can go.
about.
Cat can go.
They said a dog, the man's best friend. That cat could go.
I say cat. I hate cats with a passion.
Oh my goodness.
So cat.
You hate part of God's creation?
And I will die. Hey, I will die on that.
Oh my gosh.
What if God hits you with a Peter moment or a Paul moment? You gotta stroke this cat to get into heaven.
I just look at God and just like, bro.
I mean, that's the
easiest
way to heaven.
I'll be like, God, don't make me jump in. Just say you don't want me there.
Oh,
this man said, I will not pay a cat to make it in. My goodness. All right, Eddie, where you at?
The PC answer is I don't want to kill neither of them because like it's an animal, you know. What I'm saying? Like if I had to choose, I don't mind hitting.
Get that out of here, boy.
I would cry more if I hit a dog. Like cats got 9 lives anyways. You know, they be dying every day, so it don't really matter.
Heard you. I like that.
A dog is more solidly built to get driven over than a cat. Like, but
yeah, you gonna have a dent on your car from that dog, no cat.
Hey man, if I can keep the dog alive and I just have to replace my fender, I think I could take that. I'm all by myself.
Cats low key be demonic, bro.
What? And dogs aren't?
No,
Man, you see how overly aggressive those little dogs can be?
I don't know what you're
Well,
talking
that's
about.
because of the owner.
high key.
Right.
Cats are funny, dog. Cats just randomly be checking if gravity still exists.
Wait, what did you Ray? What was your answer?
I said
He read a
dog.
dog.
You said dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick. He's
Cancel
sick. I know.
Cancel culture.
Hey, Neff, you will have
You
to
said
protect me
dog?
for this one.
He said dog, bro.
Neff gonna have to
dog?
protect me on the TL
He
for
said
this.
dog, bro.
Nah. Next time I see Ray getting dragged, I'm gonna watch. I'll be like, well, Ray, if we were dogs, I would have stepped up. If we were dogs, Ray, but you want to be a cool cat, so you got this. You can lose a life. You got 8 more.
Hey yo.
If I see a cat in the road, instantly Ray Charles challenge. I just go.
Oh,
I ain't
Stevie
even
Wonder
swerving out
with
the
it.
way for it. I
Stevie
keep
Wonder
going.
with it.
I
Stevie
go.
Wonder
I don't
with
even
it.
swerve for you. I don't see nothing for the next 10 feet. I don't see anything for the next 10 feet.
The
Listen,
Ray
I
Charles
step
challenge?
on it. I step on it. I don't see nothing.
That's so the Ray Charles challenge. That's
But for a dog, I hit that Tokyo drift. The dog doesn't have to move. I'll do everything.
wow.
When I saw the question in the chat, I was like, only Ray would come up with this. Like, Ray's like, would you eat a warm banana? Like, Ray, where are you getting these questions?
That
boy?
was a real life situation, sir.
But where are you getting these questions, boy?
It was a
Like,
real life. She gave me a
I
warm
bet.
banana. This question came from an in-class argument.
I've never seen a video where a cat jumps in the water to save their owner. I've seen plenty of dog videos.
Oh,
High
okay.
key.
And dogs also work for the police. So
What?
We just talked
dogs
about how they
work
train.
for
We just-
They're trained
police.
to work for the
We
police.
just said how
okay?
they're trained, bro. Just like a racist person, a racist child, it's not because the child was born racist.
And to untrain them, you got to treat them just like every other racist. A punch in the face. That's how I go.
Oh my
That's how I go.
man out
All
here
right,
giving the
question.
Mike
When was-
Tyson
all right.
treatment to dogs.